सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोऽस्तुते। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तमेन चराचरं प्रकटं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। आओ आओ गजानन आओ आओ गजानन आओ आगे बढ़ो हमारे बताओ आगे बढ़ो हमारे
आगे
जगदीश्वरे दया करो मां, शिव शंकरे कृपा करो मां। जगदीश्वरे दया करो मां, कृपा करो
memory. Welcome to this Bhagawat Puran Yagya here at Shri Parameshwari Durga Devi Ashram. Our 2026 version of our yearly Yagyas. So as we commence tonight's proceedings, let's first pay obedience to Guruji, Pundit Vishnu Maharaj, other Pundits, Pundit Vishnu Pundit Sam, Mahant Ramsuru, our other invited guests, members of the Ashram. So, as we commence our Bhagawat this year, let us take the opportunity to gather as much blessings from these next 7 nights. And let us really take the lessons and messages that Guruji will expound every night and really put them into practice in our daily lives. Because events such as this are really meant for us to grow as individuals, to grow as communities, to grow as a family, to grow as a country. And in only practicing these messages, that's the only way we will grow as a society. But of course, in doing that, we have to be responsible in our actions, in the way that we interact with each other. And of course, we are an organization, and of course there will be certain guidelines and certain safety briefings that we should follow. So just bear with me a minute as we go through these guidelines. 1, please park sensibly. Please do not block anybody's driveway on the roads. There are security officers posted outside. Please listen to their instructions should they need to tell you. Please, again, listen to or cooperate with our security officers. There are Ashram officials, so those of you who are familiar with the Ashram, you'll be familiar with some of our members. For those of you who are not too familiar with our members, well, you'll see me. Inside, outside, you'll see a couple other members, Pundits are here. Should you have a question on emergency, please let us know so we can deal with it or directly or accordingly. In case of an emergency, please forward from the ashram. We will use both exits. And please forward to the big gate at the east side, that's the northeast corner of the compound. Our washroom is to the north of the compound. It's the orange door. If you go through the back door, you'll see the orange door facing you almost directly. So that's where our washroom is located. Please, there's to be absolutely no eating or drinking or chewing gum or any of the sort within the ashram. If you need to drink water or anything, please step out, have your water, and then you can come back in. Again, no placing of your feet on the chairs. Maybe you have to respect the property of the ashram. Remember, tomorrow somebody will need to sit on that same chair you were sitting on today. So let's please respect them as well. Please observe silence within the ashram. Turn off all cell phones during proceedings during these hours. There should be no footwear in the ashram, so no shoes are allowed. At the end of each night's proceedings, you will be given the opportunity to do arati for the murtis on the altar. Please, when you do arati, please do not touch the murtis. You'll see that the murtis are placed at an elevated height. You are not to climb onto that platform. So if you have something to say to everybody, like, again, we are a big group here tonight and for all the other nights. If we have an issue, please let's deal with it diplomatically and courteously, so we will be mindful of how we speak to each other during these nights. Parents, please keep an eye on the children. I know it's going to be sort of long evenings, so just keep an eye on them. If you are coughing or sneezing or having any medical emergencies, please notify one of us, especially in case of a medical emergency. Please step out the ashram for a bit and then you can come back in. At the end of proceedings, meals will be provided outside. There's no in-house dining, so it's a takeaway service every night. So please, when you collect your food, just remember it's takeaway. And of course, there's to be no loitering on the ashram, because once we end proceedings in times, we have to now get ready for the next day proceedings. So please bear these in mind and let us have an enjoyable Bhagawat Yagya. And let us please take all lessons that we can get from tonight and all other nights proceeding in forward. Sitaram.
Principal Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. So let us start as we commence our Bhagavad Puran Mahayagya with our opening article. प्रेम से बोलो वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। Take your seats. May I, on behalf of the members of the Shri Parameshwari Durga Devi Ashram Incorporated, on behalf of its management and executive members, extend a most cordial welcome to this, the first of 7 nights of Bhagawat Puran Yagya. And during the next 7 days, we all are gathered here to seek at the feet of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. And when you come here, please capitalize on the time. Don't let your minds be distracted by all of the occurrences and movements and so on. Focus on Bhagwan Shri Krishna. And during the course of the 7 nights, you will hear the glory and the greatness of the Bhagavad. The Bhagavad is not like any other scripture, and you will hear from tonight's sound of its greatness. You will also see as the night go along what we had and what we as a Hindu community gave up, and the consequence of that. Alright? So before we go into tonight's discourse, let us sit upright. Let's clasp our hands together, close our eyes, bow our heads as we formally commence tonight's devotion. So we contemplate on Bhagwan Ganapati, he who is the giver of success, to remove our obstacles, and is always foremost among the hosts of the deities. We seek the blessings of Bhagwan Shri Krishna, the presiding deity of our Yagya, and we seek the blessings of our Reverend Guru, through whose blessings the darkness in the form of ignorance are removed from our lives. ध्यायन्ति योगिना कामदामोक्षरं चैव ओंकाराय नमो नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ गं गणपतये नमः। प्रणम्य शिरसे देवं गौरीपुत्र विनायकं भक्तवासं स्मरे नित्यं कामर्तं सिद्धके। ॐ प्रथमं वक्रतुण्ड च एकदन्तं द्वितीयकं तृतीयं कृष्णपिनाक्ष राजारकं चतुर्थं लम्बोदरं पञ्चमं च षष्ठं विकटमेव च सप्तमं विघ्नराजं च धूम्रवर्णं ततष्टकं नवमं बालचन्द्रतु दशमं तु विनायकम् एकदशचूडघण्टा द्वादशतु गजाननम्। ॐ श्रीं ह्रीं क्लीं गणेश्वराय ब्रह्मरूपाय चारवे सर्वसिद्धिप्रदेशाय विघ्नेश्वराय नमो नमः। ॐ गं गणपतये नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुलं गयते गिरिं यत्कृपातुमापन्ने परमानन्दमाधवम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु। सागरस्थिते विनाशनं जगतो यो जगमायः मूलभूतो नमस्तस्मै श्रीविष्णुवे परमात्मने नमस्ते। अज्ञानं निरिदन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ज्ञानमूलं गुरुर्मूर्ति पूजामूलं गुरुपरं मन्त्रमूलं गुरुर्नवाक्य मोक्षमूलं गुरुकृपा। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे शक्तिरूपाय धीमहि तन्नो प्रेमा प्रचोदयात्। श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। To those of you who are now coming, this is a special welcome to this our first of 7 nights of Bhagawat Puran Yagya. Tonight we are going to discover the power of the Bhagavatam. But it is necessary to introduce you to what is Bhagavatam, how this came about. As you all know, Vyas is the grand author of all of our scriptures. He is the one that organized the Vedas. Before Vyas, our scriptures is passed on by oral tradition. But Vyas, the rishis have seen that with the advent of Kali Yuga, man will become very corrupt and his mind will become very corrupt, and therefore the scriptures will be tampered with. So what Vyas did with Bhagwan Vishnu, the intelligence of Lord Vishnu incarnated as Vyasji. And Vyas set about putting in written form, starting with the Vedas. And he arranged the Vedas into 4 parts. And so we have the Rig, Yajur, Sam, and Atharva Veda. After composing the Veda, he Then he composed, with the help of Bhagwan Ganapati, he composed the Mahabharata. The core of the Mahabharata has the Bhagavad Gita in it. And then we have the Puranas. But after Vyasji had composed all of these scriptures, he still was not satisfied. For in his mind, his work is still incomplete. And so, not finding a solution to this dilemma, he approaches his Guruji, who is the Guru of Yagyas. The Guru of Yagyas is no other than Narad Muni. And so he explains to Naradji what was bothering him in his mind. And so Naradji himself is astonished. See, among all of the rishis and munis alive on earth, among all the devatas, you are the most revered and worshipped, but yet you are still not satisfied with the composition that you have done. And so Narad himself became very, very curious. So he told Vedyas, I will try to find the solution to your problem. And so Narad approaches his father. Who is the father of Narad Muni? Who is the father of Narad Muni? No other than Parampita Brahmadev, Lord Brahma. And so Lord Brahma, having that discussion with Naradji expressing the dissatisfaction of Vedyas with his work so far. Brahmadev smiled and says, go and tell Vyasji, all his work so far is based on science, on arts, on technology, on spirituality. But he needs to perform, he needs to do a composition on bhakti. Only then will he gain satisfaction. And so Narad himself said, tell me what in the field of bhakti should he compose? And Brahmadev says, tell Vyasji he should compose the Srimad Bhagavatam. Narad said, I don't know what this Bhagavatam is. Tell me about it. And so Lord Brahma says, O Narad, go to the Himalayas, sit in meditation, repeat this syllable, Omkar. Concentrate on your incoming and exhaling breath. And there you will hear a divine mantra. Meditate on that mantra. This is yoga too, huh? In Yoga Sastras, this is there. You know when you're breathing in and out, there's a mantra you're chanting, and some of you still use that same mouth and they blah 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 blah, all kind of thing all over the place. Huh? But your scriptures tell you, your breath is reminding you what mantra you have to say before the life leaves this body. What is that mantra? Huh? Soham. Soham. As you inhale and exhale, that is the vibration the breath makes. And so Brahmadev is instructed Naradji to meditate on that song. And he said, 4 divine beings are going to appear before you, and they will enlighten you into the details of the Bhagavatam. O Narad, they are your elder brothers, but they will appear as little children between the ages of 5 to 7. And these are the Kumaras, the mind-born, the first created beings by Lord Brahma. They were born perfect beings. When they wanted the knowledge, when Brahma told them, I have created you with all the knowledge, take over the work of creation, they said no. This creation is full of Maya and will bind the soul. And so they didn't take the work of creation. But they themselves discovered a flaw in their own devotion. And so when they approached Lord Brahma for that final piece of knowledge, Brahma directed to the feet of Lord Shiva. Go approach Dakshinamurti. And so Lord Shiva, that silent guru, he didn't speak. The Kumaras sat at his feet. And from the mansik energy of Bhagwan to the mind of the Kumaras, the Bhagavatam was imparted to them. That is why after they sat at the feet of Lord Shiva, the first thing they decided to do is to go to Vaikuntha to see who is this? Bhagwan Vishnu. And there is where, that is a katha by itself. And you all know how that played out when they reached the doors of Vaikuntha. Giant Vijay tried to stop them and many leelas evolved from that. So these are the same four Kumaras, Sarat Kumar and his other brothers. Naradji meditated and these four Kumaras appeared and they initiated Narad in the Bhagavad Katha. Narad, taking this knowledge now, he came and gave it to Vedyas. But so aesthetic, so powerful was this Bhagavatam. Vedyas entered into Samadhi, a yogic trance. Absorbing the knowledge of the Bhagavatam, while in yogic trance, he started composing. So while he was using his logical brain to compose the Vedas and the other Shastras, the other Puranas, here he is in deep meditation, totally detached from body consciousness, and he's composing with the pure knowledge of the Atma. That is why if you listen to the Bhagavad Arati, it tells you, you will hear Amara Granth. What does the meaning of word Amar? It means it is the book of, it is immortal. Amara Grantahi, Mukti Grantahi, it will give you liberation. Panchama Ved, if there are four Vedas, if a fifth Veda could exist, the Bhagavad is that. And so it tells you, the Arati itself tells you the greatness of the Bhagavatam. Ramayana Arati tells you the greatness of Shri Ram. Devi Bhagavad Arati tells you the greatness of Devi. Bhagavad Arati tells you the greatness of this book. This is no ordinary book. Among all the Puranas, there are all the books that exist in the library of Sanatana Dharma. There are only two Bhagavatams, and they both are equal. There is the Srimad Bhagavatam, which we are reading from, and then there is the Devi Bhagavatam. And that is the Purusha and the Prakriti, the masculine and the feminine energy. Both of them are equal in the same way. No other deity has a Bhagavatam except Bhagavad Puran and Devi Bhagavatam. And as the night unfolds, the various nights, and one of the nights we will look at the Katha taken from Devi Bhagavat and how it relates to this Yagya that we are doing. So that is just a synopsis on how the Bhagavat, just to let you know of the importance of this Bhagavat. And tonight, we'll be looking at the Mahatam of the Bhagavatam. What is the meaning of the word Mahatam? It is the essence. It tells you the power of the Bhagavatam. You see, Bhagavad Katha does not only affect you, it helps your ancestors and it helps those who are not yet born into your lineage. Those of you who come into the world or have experienced lots of life traumas, this Bhagavatam is for you. While growing up, some of you may be victim of things like rape and incest and all types of family misfortunes. If your life has been tormented and tortured like that, some of us come with heavy karmic burden from our past life. This Bhagavatam is the fuel to burn all of that and the Ganga to purify all of that. And tonight the Mahatma will highlight that. So those of you who have gathered here tonight, you are not here because I sent you an invitation. You are not here because members of our ashram invited you. You are here because Bhagavan Krishna wants you here with him. If he didn't want you here, you could do what you want. You can't reach here tonight. And if the Lord calls you to him, then which means to say there is something he wants to give you. But how many of you are willing to receive it? How many of you really want what he has to give you? Only you alone can answer that. By how sincere your devotion is during the course of this 7 nights. So here in the Mahatma is not the start of the Bhagavatam. The Mahatma, like I tell you, is that katha that tells the essence of the Bhagavatam. So here in the Mahatma, it tells you that there was a Brahmin by the name of Atmaram, and he wanted a son. And so he consulted his guru, and his guru told him, children is not in your destiny. Don't go after that. You will suffer tremendously. Having children after marriage is something that completes a family in some cases. Right away, the Bhagavatam tells you, not every married person or not every individual should be parents. Not everybody is capable of handling that responsibility. That is why we have so much chaos in society today. So here the Guru tells them, when you look at the Patra, he tells them, children is not in your destiny. Do not go after that. You will not have a happy life. But Atmaram, he's saying, who is going to perform my funeral rites? Who is going to take my family name? Who is going to inherit my legacy? And as parents, we think like this sometimes. And so, Atmaram, he begs and begs and begs. He says, okay. The Guru says, okay, you want it? I'll give it to you. I'll help you get it. And so he performs the Garbha Samskara. And the fruit that was offered was given to the wife. But the wife was a kind of egocentric individual. She was more concerned about her beauty. She didn't want to go through the pressures of pregnancy. In other words, she didn't want to get stretch marks and all that kind of thing. She was beauty conscious. She was body conscious. And she telling herself, this old man only wants me to have a child. I ain't going to have no child, you know. Typical society today, eh? And so the fruit that was given to her, she gave sister ate. And so, as fate would have it, the sister threw it, the cow eat it, and the cow ended up giving birth to a human child. But he had a cow's ears. And that boy became known by the name of Gaukaran. Gaukaran had another brother, and his name was Dundunkari. Remember these two names. Gaukaran was virtuous in every possible way. He was not attached to the world. And so, shortly after performing his Upanay Samskar, his Janay Samskar, he left and gone on pilgrimage, and he settled in his Guru Ashram learning. His other brother, Dundunkari, was the opposite. And so he was very materialistic. And while Gaukaran had gone to study, Dudunkari living his life in the material world. And let us hear some of the things that he did. Let us hear how he lived his life. And as you reflect on how Dudunkari lives his life, it is you have to reflect what you are doing with your life. So let us hear what Vedyas has to tell us. Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah, Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah,
Krishna Sharanam Namah, Shri Krishna
Prem se bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Now devotion is something infectious, it's like a virus. If you sit down next to the person and you are not enjoying your devotion, then the sin them have just come across to you, and the devotion them just go across to the other person. So open your mouth and sing, so everything will have to go outside. Alright? So Dudunkari, he lives a very materialistic life. He's full adult at this stage. His brother Gaukaran is still keeping the company of the holy ones, and he's still on pilgrimage and so on. So they are both adults now. One is far away and one is with his parents. And Dudunkari, his father telling him, "This is my only son here. It is time, I'm reaching that age where I'm going to hand over my assets, my inheritance, everything to him." Sounding familiar? And so Atmaram made arrangements to hand, in that days didn't have people and all that kind of thing. So he handed over his assets to Dudunkari. And so whatever Dudunkari inherited, what did he do? Immediately he beat up his mother and father and put them out of the house. Remember, I told you he is a very materialistic person. His life would be one that he always lying in. He always visits these wrong shops and so on. He keeps the companies of prostitutes. And now the money he is earning, he's using it to maintain these prostitutes. And he's so hot up with himself. It's not one woman you have, you have 5. They take up 5 prostitutes. And you know it's high maintenance. Huh? They had to get a nail done, they had to get a hair done, they had to get this done, they had to get all kind of thing done. Huh? And if you can't give it to them, well, too bad. So what do you think he will do now? He sold his assets that he inherited, he put out the mother and father, they died a very painful, very disgraceful life. And he couldn't care. The home that his parents gave him, he's now using it to maintain, he's housing these 5 prostitutes in that home. So what he's doing now to maintain these 5 women, he turns to a life of crime. And so he's killing, he's murdering, he's robbing. On a daily basis, there's some home invasion he's conducting. Somebody he's robbing. Somebody he's murdering. This is the kind of life he's living. And so when he does these things, all the jewelry and the money and so on that he makes, that he sees or he thieves, he brings it home to these prostitutes. And so these prostitutes now, they're happy, they're getting luxury, they're getting everything at their fingertips. But they weren't stupid. They talk at one day, Dundukari gone to commit his crime. And so the 5 of them, they gather together now and say, this Dundunkari, every day he's coming back with expensive gifts and large amounts of money. Very soon the king will, and the soldiers of the king will catch up with him. And if they catch him, they're also going to, if the king punishes him, they're also going to punish us. And so Dundunkari is becoming very, his name invokes fear. So in the village, everybody knows he's a big thief. Everybody knows he's a criminal. Everybody knows he's a gangster. And word is spreading. And the prostitutes, when they go, they get people talk. And so they are aware that people is looking at him. And they're talking. And very soon the king will know. And very soon the justice will be served. So what they decide to do? Look at what he's doing. Look at the kind of life he adopted. Look at the background he came from. And look at the kind of life he adopted for what? To maintain these 5 prostitutes. And he knows that if he doesn't keep providing more and more and more, they are going to leave him. And he doesn't want them to leave. So he's doing the only thing he knows to satisfy their desires, which is to keep providing them with a certain lifestyle, regardless of how it comes. So they are living in luxury and plenty at the expense of the life of others. And they are aware of this. So on one occasion, they go on, Dundunkari go on to commit his crime. And the 5 prostitutes, they are talking among themselves. What are they talking about? What are they planning? Let us hear. Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah. Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah. Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah. Praise the Lord, Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Remember, you come here to stay quiet, you come here to engage actively in devotion. Alright, don't worry, we have food and water things for outside, everybody outside. So the energy you spend going in here, you'll get us precisely outside. Right? Right. So these 5 prostitutes, Dudunkari is not at home, he go on to do his business. So these 5 prostitutes, they are aware people is talking. And it's just a matter of time for the authorities come down on them. So what they're planning, or what they're talking to say, this Dudunkari is going and committing all these crimes and he's bringing back all this wealth and jewelry and so on. One day the king is going to catch up with him and he will be sentenced to death. And if the king catch him, they will catch us and that will be our fate too. And so what they do, they devise a plan. When the Dudunkari comes home tonight, we will entertain him just as he accustomed being entertained, but we will get him drunk. We will get him drunk beyond what he normally drinks. And when he's out cold, we will bound him, tie him up, and the well in the back, in the compound they had a well. Long time everybody had a well. So it's a draw water. Nobody had indoor plumbing in that days. Alright? And we threw him in the well. And we will disguise ourselves and go to another village. You see? You see what kind of life does get you? Look at what he's doing to maintain these 5 prostitutes and watch what them plotting. Now you have to know how to interpret this. For all of us, whether you're man or woman, these 5 prostitutes influence you, you know. They are part of your life. What are the 5 prostitutes? Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Ahankara. Right? They are the senses of desires, the things that we desire in this world. So these 5 prostitutes, and for somebody who wants to hold on to these Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Ahankara, it's going to kill you eventually. You are going to cause you not necessarily physical death, it's going to cause you your spiritual death. Because it's going to they are going to make you forget who you really are. And who are you? Bhagavad Gita tells you, Upanishads tell you, Yoga Shastra tells you. Jagat Guru Adi Shankaracharya, what he says, Aham Brahmasmi, the Vedas, and he did many books on Advaita, the unity between Atman and Brahman. Yoga Shastras tell you, Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham, I am that Shiva. Your own breathing tells you, Soham, Soham, I am that God within you. So these 5 prostitutes, when Dundunkari came back and he handed over his loot for that night, they entertained him like all the prostitutes would normally entertain, and then they drunk, getting drunk beyond the normal capacity. And when he was out cold, what they did? Exactly what they did. They started tying him up, but the plan didn't go exactly how it was supposed to go. He was supposed to be out cold and they're supposed to tie him up and then dump him. But he was a strong fella. So yes, while he was tying him, he started to realize something and realize he had not got cold yet. And so as he keeps struggling now, a very, very strong fella, he started to gradually kind of overpower the prostitutes and them. But he's drunk, he's not fully aware of his surroundings and what is going on. So what did the prostitutes and them do? They get back control over the situation. They take coals, red hot coals. Again, then they have fireside. So they take red hot coals from the fireside and they push it in him out. And with that agonizing pain, they were able to subdue him. And they threw him in the well, bound it up. What do you think when he went in the well, what do you think would happen? He would drown and he would die. And so the prostitutes, they gathered up all the loot and they abandoned the house. They went to another village to conduct their trade. They open our next branch in the next village. Right? So they go to the next village to conduct to live their kind of life. Dundunkari now, he's dead in that well, and his soul, his Atma, becomes a bhoot. A bhoot is different from a pret. A pret is a disembodied being who has passed on naturally, but is guided by the Yamdus. A bhoot is someone who died untimely and is bound to the earthly realm. There is nowhere to go until the appointed natural time comes. That is what is called spirit. Right? Some of them have it like pets and thing in their house. Right? So he becomes a bhoot. But before his parents died, his father sarapped him, and this is something, it is in our scripture. Anytime your parents put their mouth on you in a negative way, watch out. It doesn't no God coming to save you here. That is why I tell children and parents, be careful how you talk to your children, especially when you're angry. Alright? Because sometimes if the person is a very spiritual person, the power, their words carry the power of a mantra, like a mantra. Alright, an ordinary person doesn't really have the power to surround you so. But if the person is a very spiritually involved person, their words, you have certain people, I'm sure you must know, that they say, everything he say or she say has come to pass, that's the kind of people you have to watch out for. Which means that there's something either in their past life or in their present life because of their lifestyle. That is what we call Vakya Shakti. There's a special blessing of Saraswati Mata that when you say something, it comes to pass. If you are such a parent, be careful what you tell your children. Alright? So, because of the kind of life Dundunkari was living father said after him, you will die at the hands of those prostitutes and you will never find rest and peace in your afterlife. And so said, so done. And so he's now in a good form. And so he's haunted the village now. Just as how he was miserable when he was living, just so he behaved when he's dead. And so just as how he was tormenting and torturing people while he was alive, he's haunting the villagers like that. Sometimes he appears an ugly looking demon to some of them. Sometimes he takes on the form of Devi. One time he appears Hanuman to this one, he appears Shiva to the other one, and so on. And spirits have the ability to do these things. Any being that exists in astral form can change their forms. Again, so not everybody tell you this and that and thing, and they tell you the Shiva and Hanuman and all of that. Sometimes there's be some junkie that's be harassing you and there's be get fooled by that. Alright? So, Dundunkari, his soul was suffering. Because one, he died on a timely death, and secondly, the burden of his karma is such that it has overwhelmed him to the extent where he cannot move on beyond the earthly plane. And so his brother Gaukaran, learning of the death of his father and his parents, his mother and father, and the death of his brother, he came back to the village. And so the villagers was happy because they saw this child from the village gone up outside and studied and so on. And he made something of himself. He became a very wise rishi. Hearing of the death of the parents, he consulted the villagers to find out how the parents lived and what caused them to die. Learning what has happened, he performed the Shraddha karma of the parents and of his brothers. His parents' souls were liberated, but he performed the Shraddha karma of his brother and the soul did not benefit from it. And you have to understand from Garu Purana, when you do it with Pitrapaksha offering, your Shraddha, you Pindadan and so on, you do it to Bhagwan in the name of your ancestors, and based on their karma, then Bhagwan decides what's going to happen to that. That is Garu Puran Katha, we will not go there. And so Gaukaran, who has studied with among the most famous and foremost among the rishis, is questioning, how come the Shraddha karma, the Pindadan and so on did not free you? And is there in our scriptures. And so he decides to go and consult other sages. How can this be possible? It is written, and there it is in Garu Puran. Once somebody passed on, he performed Shraddha. Right? After the funeral rites, after post-funeral rites to perform, that is your Shraddha karma. So your Pindan, your Taripan and all that kind of thing. Okay? And so he did that according to the injunctions of the scriptures. He didn't even do it, he did it more than once. He did it in the village. And then when he saw he didn't get the result, then he did it in Gaya, which is a very sacred spot for Shraddha karma. And still, Dundunkari did not benefit from it. And so he consulted the sages and so on. Dundunkari appeared to his brother in the night and he's asking, oh brother, do something to help me. I'm not benefited from the Shraddha and I'm suffering in this form. And so Dundunkari made the resolve to go and consult other rishis. And so his journey took him to Shri Sukadev Maharaj. And Shri Sukadev Maharaj, listening to what Gaukaran is telling him, and he's telling that if you have done Shraddha karma, in the ancestral village and you have done Shraddha Karma at Gaya and that didn't help. He went into meditation and he came back out and said, there is only one solution. What is that? Let us hear. Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah Friends, Bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. So Shri Sukadeva Maharaj telling Bhagawat, having performed the Shraddha Karma at such holy places and is not freeing the soul of your deceased brother from its suffering, there is only one solution. And that is to perform 21 sessions of Bhagavad Katha over 7-day period. So that is where the tradition comes from. Or just a generation ago, when our grandparents would do Bhagavatam, they would do 3 times a day Bhagavad. So 7 trees are 21. That is where you get it from. That is the recommended. And he says, in other parts of the Bhagavad, he says, you cannot do it, just do the 7 days Bhagavad. And if that cannot be done, do 1 day. But for this specific condition, Shri Sukadeva Maharaj recommended 21 sessions of Bhagavad. So, Gaukara didn't get the answer to the problem that he was facing. What did he do? He went back to the village and he called a panchayat, a meeting of the villagers. And says, let us have Bhagavad Katha in Bhagavad Yagya in our village. And everybody was overjoyed. Everybody was overjoyed. And so the entire village took on a very festive occasion. An auspicious date was set. The holy ones was invited. And the Yagyashala was constructed. And so the place was decorated and so on. And under the advice of Shri Sukadeva Maharaj, Gaukaran, he was advised to install a bamboo in the Yagyashala. What is the secret of that bamboo? And he told him that bamboo must have 7 joints. That will be installed in the Yagyashala. And the minute everything was set up and the puja was, the Devi was consecrated, what did you think happened? That spirit, which was known as Durga, that boot, came and sat on the top of that bamboo. And so, for that morning now, after the puja has been conducted, the Vyasji started to narrate. And so, the first morning session finished, the midday session finished, and the night session finished. And when the night session finished, one of the joints in the bamboo broke with a loud burst. You know, long time Diwali there was big busting bamboo, how loud it was the song? Nowadays it's fireworks, right? Nowadays I grew up busting carbide and bamboo. I don't think any, all I know is carbide these days, right? You know? So, one of the joints of the bamboo broke. And so next day, the same process. Puja was conducted, katha 3 times a day, and in night time, the second joint of the bamboo broke. And so it keep going, and keep going, until finally, the Purnahuti was performed on the last night. The night of this, the 7th night, the final session. And as the sacred offerings are put into the fire, with a loud explosion, yeah, the final joint of the bamboo broke, and the entire bamboo shattered and fell. And as the bamboo fell, a divine being now rise from where the bamboo was. Who is that divine being? By the power of the Bhagavatam, that boot, with all of that negative karma, was blessed by Bhagavan Krishna and takes on a divine form, a heavenly form. And in the presence of everyone, the attendants of Vaikuntha, they descended in an aerial chariot and escorted Durga on that chariot. He places his hands and bows to his brother and he thanks him for doing this seva to him, to doing this service to him. But when that chariot was being boarded, Dununkari was the first to go on it, but all of the deceased relative in that line also entered into that chariot. And it went straight to the word of Lord Vishnu. Praise the Guru Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. That is the power of Bhagavatam. It frees the ancestral lineage from the family curse that some of us have. You know, sometimes in some family you have things that happen to male children, things that happen to female children. Some people that from the time things start to go good, there's something unexplained just happen and they keep you in one way all the time. That is one sign that we have a family, some sarap in the family. Alright? Look at what the power of the Bhagavatam. Look at the kind of life Dununkari lived. And look at the kind of blessing. And so, Gaukaran became very amazed at the power of the Bhagavatam. And he questioned the holy ones. All of us did Bhagavad Yagya, but only he get liberation. Why? He said, because those who have gathered here, they had little distractions in their mind. Dununkari, because of his suffering state, he had nothing to lose. So he focused all of his efforts on the Bhagavad. And because he pays so much attention and focused on the form of Bhagavan Krishna during his recitation, he was able to cleanse himself of the negative karma he has accumulated. Mainly only by listening to the katha of the Bhagavad and chanting of the name of Bhagavan Krishna. That is why I am encouraging all of you, when we are chanting along, you too chant. And so Gaukaran, he decides to conduct this Bhagavad Yagya, but with a different attitude again. On another occasion, he arranged and executed the Bhagavad Yagya. And this time, because he saw the power of the Bhagavad the first time, this time around, when the Purnahoti was being offered, again that divine chariot was coming, but in this time it was not the attendance of Lord Vishnu. It was Narayan himself which had descended. And so pleased he was with all of them there, he placed his trunk on his mouth and he blew that divine sun, and all of them were transformed into divine beings, and he took them with them to his abode to Vaikuntha. Prem se bolo Shri Satya Narayan Swami ki Jai. Again, demonstrated the power of the Bhagavad. This is what our grandparents used to do. And this is what we abandon for less. There is no other scripture that tells you about this. When you read all the other scriptures, including Ramayana, tells you how to live in this earth. They give you the blessings while you are alive. Bhagavatam does not only tell you how to live, it does not only give you blessings in this life, it frees your ancestors from suffering, and it helps you attain to the final goal of what your existence is supposed to be. Whatever blockages there are, this can remove it. So tonight, in a summary form, I'm giving you the Mahatam of the Bhagavatam, in the hope that when you come here, night after night, you'll be able to benefit tremendously. You'll be inspired. And wherever Bhagavad is being read, please make it a business to at least attend. Like I said, all the other yagyas we are accustomed doing to help you while you are alive to live in this world. It is only the Bhagavatam will help you live in this world and prepare you, bless you for the hereafter. Just as Dundunkari, he didn't have any, he wasn't receiving of the Shraddha karmas. It was being blocked because of his karma. Look at what the Bhagavad done. It purified him. Not just purify him, it transformed him. So no matter what troubles and difficulties you may be experiencing, no matter what condition you are living in, no matter what is your family condition or whatever is your lineage condition, there is hope. But you have to make the effort. You have to make the effort to want this kind of blessing. Tomorrow night, this is the Mahatam. Tomorrow night, Bhagavan Krishna himself will manifest in our ashram. He will come, and all of you will have a chance to come and do his puja. So tomorrow night we'll be having Palana puja. So you bring your offerings. All you need to do is arrange a little fruits, alright, and you have your tulsi and your flowers and so on, and you come and you do Palana puja. As soon as the Devi puja is complete, from around 6 p.m. we will start the Palana puja. Alright, so come and take part in that puja. Tomorrow night when I read that katha, you will see some of the problems you are maybe having at home, and family life with children and parents and so on, the solution to some of those problems. Alright? Prem se bolo Vrindavan Vihari Lal ki Jai. So we'll have one bhajan and then we'll have our concluding arati. So while they're organizing to decide what to sing and sing, anybody have any questions you want to ask? Huh? I think you understand the power of this Bhagavatam. So this is something now that you should make an effort. You only have 7 days, and if you're fast and 7 days will go. Come and participate and be part of it.
Radhe Govinda Gopala, Jai Govinda Radhe Gopala, Radhe Govinda Gopala, Jai Govinda Radhe Gopala,
बोलो सद्गुरु कबीर साहिब की जय. So again, a reminder, all of you come participate in Parana Puja tomorrow. Like I said, we keep it as simple as possible. Just bring some flowers and tulsi leaves and some fruits to offer. We will start that offering probably at 6 p.m. as soon as the Devi Puja is completed. And you get the opportunity to come and participate fully in it. Again, as we prepare for Arati, I'd like to acknowledge members of the Kabir Panda Association and members of the Kabir Pradesh Ashram, Mahant Ganesham over here, and I see my in-laws in the audience there. So, welcome to all devotees from wherever, and I'm very pleased to see first night a lot of you from all ends of Trinidad. Right? We have from deep south, we have from way up in the east, we have from in the west. So welcome, and hope we continue to see you all from night after night during the course of this Yagya. So, with the blessings that we are accumulating in this Bhagawat, we will be repeating Bhagawat anytime soon. We have other things to do. Maybe you all hear the importance of Bhagawat. We will have people from the 21 session Bhagawat in the future. That's a deal? Huh? Right. So we have something to look forward to. Prem se bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. So let us stand as we have our concluding arati. Give thanks to God for the opportunity to congregate, to perform our pujas, to engage in our bhajans, kirtans, to engage in our discourses. We seek forgiveness if there may be any errors committed. Lastly, ask to have our desires fulfilled, all obstacles removed from our daily life. Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu, Mangalam Garudatvaja, Mangalam Pundarikaksha, Mangalayatano Hari. Tvameva Mata, Chapita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhu, Chasika Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya, Dravinam Tvameva, Tvameva Sarvam, Mama Deva Deva. Om Mantrahinam, Kriyahinam, Bhaktihinam, Janardanam, Yat Pujatam, Maya Deva, Paripurnam Karastu Me, Kayena Vacha, Manasendriyetva, Buddhyatmana va Prakriti Swabhagya, Karoni Yagyam Sakalam Tarasmai, Narayaneti Samarpayami, Narayaneti Samarpayami. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, As long as you can, from the very top of your voices. प्रेम से बोलो गजानन स्वामी की, मापति महादेव की, पवन पुत्र हनुमान की, जगदम्बिका दुर्गा माता की, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की, श्री सत्यनारायण स्वामी की, प्रेम से बोलो श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। जय जय सीताराम। Take your seats. So remain seated right where you are, or you will pass along, after which you will make your way to the outside where you will have your meals have been prepared. And again, we invite all of you to continue to come in and support us in this ongoing Bhagawat Yagya. Please take the opportunity to do your offerings tomorrow when we do our Palana Puja. Anybody who want to come and do Aarti on the altar, please we can do so.